Welcome to City Buzz Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Solo, and today's topic is our failing society. The police officers act with disregard for human life once again. We need to lift our voices as one and stand up against this platform of murder. If one of us black people shoot and kill somebody, we get the maximum sentence. We've seen examples of how white offenders get treated better than black offenders. For instance, James Holmes killed 12 people and injured 70 others back in 2012 when he shot up the movie theater. He was taken to jail alive and sentenced to life in prison. But see, then we have the facts. Studies show that 32% of the victims of fatal shootings by police are black. And most of those were reported to be armed, but 83% of those victims were in fact unarmed. So with this knowledge, our legal system need to develop a prevention strategy, need to improve the risk assessment among their police officers and modify their response to increase the safety of communities and prevent these fatalities from reoccurring. Furthermore, we need to improve the risk assessment among our elected officials as well, because a faulty mold only produces a faulty product. You can't have a corrupt half, because eventually the other half will become corrupt and the entire system will be trash. The government don't want angry, disgruntled, grief-stricken armed civilians forming militias. And they don't want large groups of organized militants rising up from the shadows to protect our communities. They don't want to have law enforcement officers killed in action. And they really don't want millions of angry citizens storming the precincts and police districts with explosives. Not throwing rocks at tanks, not dodging rubber bullets. Just like we don't want to have to bury our young men and women due to murderous, cold-hearted actions of the police officers. We don't want to be targeted and hunted for sport. We don't want injustice. We don't want to sit in the courtroom and hear a not guilty verdict handed to cold-hearted killers who were not only witnessed by masses of people, but caught in the act on their own body cams. We don't want to live in fear of lethal force when we get pulled over for a routine traffic search. We don't want to get a grip on the things in the wrong way and look at all this negativity every day on the news, in our communities. See, some people just sit back watching it on TV. Most of us are really living this real life. This is our reality, day to day. And it can't be escaped because it's not our fault that somebody is reacting negative to a situation that can be handled better if they were qualified. But the whole thing is, these people are unqualified. And if we don't get a handle on this situation, this civil unrest and this injustice and racist hatred, there's going to be a lot more vacant properties and holes dug. And once again, we're fighting to abolish lethal force by racist cops. Once again, we're forced with the decision to stand up and take affirmative action against the judicial system, or continue to sit back and watch our communities become overrun by these hateful criminal individuals. We all want to be treated equal, all except for a handful of racists. Let me tell you something. God is love. So if you want to love your people, you will show that love, and you will know that God is for all people, not just one race of people. Therefore, there's no separation in love, just as there should be no separation in justice. The old saying goes, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. But it seems like money talk, and that other stuff just walk. Because that's all it is bull. It's straight bull. And when it comes to the mentally ill individuals that are victims of these fatalities by the hands of these police officers, we can send a man to the moon. We got $1 trillion defense budget, to build and create weapons of mass destruction. But we don't have proper mental health care. We still got people homeless, sleeping on the ground. You know, where are the mental health professionals, the negotiators? Where are the tasers, the bear spray, the non-lethal tactics? They don't want to use non-lethal tactics because they've been ordered to shoot to kill. Not to wound, but shoot to kill the black men and women and children. Because they don't shoot the white dudes. I'm not a racist, but I know right from wrong. I'm not blind. I see what I see. I see the same thing y'all see on the body cam. This is live footage of this man killing the individual. But he get in the courtroom and they say not guilty. What's wrong with this picture? You know, the pattern is right before our eyes. And the evidence says guilty. The lack of judicial concern for justice and human rights is appalling. I'm just stating the obvious. That which they can't seem to see. It is now people versus animals. We are more intelligent than animals. So let's not get caught up in the web that they've spun for our demise. You got to stand for something or fall for anything.